My name is Bob Brink. It's been my pleasure and my honor to represent the 48th District in the House of Delegates for the past 14 years. I want to recognize a constituent, a special constituent, because he is a former colleague of mine as well. David Poisson, who's now a resident of the Belvedere, served Loudoun County in the House of Delegates for a number of years, very, very effectively. I'm delighted that I can count him now as one of my constituents. So welcome to 22209. Let me tell you just a few things about what I've done in Richmond and what I hope to do in the coming years. In Richmond, I serve on the Transportation and Appropriations Committees, as well as several study groups, the Joint Commission on Healthcare, the Commission on Youth, and I was also appointed by Governor McDonnell to his Commission on Government Reform and Restructure. The most difficult task that we've had over the past number of years, and that we will have going into the next session, is dealing with the effects of the national economic downturn. We've had about 10 rounds of cuts to services in order to meet our constitutional requirement to balance the budget. And it's extremely likely that we're going to be faced with the same problem when we go back down to Richmond in January. The governor has asked each of the agencies in preparing the budget that he'll present to the General Assembly for 2%, 4%, and 6% cuts in their agency budgets. This is on top, as I said, of a number of rounds of cuts. It's going to be very difficult. We also are going to have to factor into that budget process several factors. One of them is that the stimulus money, which cushioned the blow for us in a number of different areas, including higher education, healthcare and Medicaid, and K through 12 education, that stimulus money isn't going to be available to us anymore. The rainy day fund, which cushioned the blow of our decreased revenues over the past several years, will also not be available. And on top of that, every 2 years, the State Department of Education recalibrates the amount that is due to local school districts for aid to K through 12 education, which is one of the major functions of the government. This benchmarking process, as it's called, is due to come this coming year, and preliminary estimates are that the bill for that will be as much as $300 million. So we're going to have these factors to contend with as we construct the budget over the next couple of years. It's a difficult task. As far as I'm concerned, one of the major responsibilities that we have is to assure that essential core services of government, education, healthcare, public safety, are preserved in this process. This is what we've endeavored to do over the past rounds of budget cuts. It's what I intend to do as we go forward. And it's a great challenge, but it's something that is very important for us and for the citizens of the Commonwealth. So, as I said, I hope to have your support on Tuesday, November 8th. My name is Bob Brink, and thank you for having us here today. One thing that I wanted to add out of the discussions we've had so far, the question of business incentives. I think that these can be very valuable in some areas, but I think that we have to analyze very carefully whether or not they're doing the job they were intended to do. Senator Janet Howell, whose district will encompass a piece of Arlington after redistricting, has called for such a study, and I think that that's very sensible. One area that I have concerns about is the film industry business incentives. I think that what this does more than anything else is to prop up an existing industry rather than attract new business in here. And while it's very, very sexy to be able to have your picture taken with Steven Spielberg, I'm not certain he needs our money. At one time, there were just a few states who offered these. Now there are 38 states, so we're competing against them. The Tax Foundation has issued a study saying that they don't really do the job they do. So as I said, I think that we have to scrutinize these carefully to make sure that business incentives really do incentivize new business.